Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this meeting to order for April 25th, 2023, and it is Councilmember Sanella's birthday today, so he's going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And if you could please remain standing, we have an invocation this evening by Pastor Stephen Black from Woodland Bible Church. Welcome.
Welcome, Mayor. Welcome, City Council members. Let's just close our eyes in prayer. I'd like to read a verse first. Romans 13:1, every person is to be in subjection to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except from God, and those which exist have been appointed by God. Let's pray. Lord, I thank you this evening for our mayor and her staff as they tirelessly lead our fair city. I thank you for the city council members represented here and for their staff as well, Lord. We always know that their workers put as much hard work in as they do. We thank you for just the diversity of our leaders. And we know that, Lord, in this diversity, there can also be unity. And I pray for the unity within the diversity of all our leaders that are represented this evening. And help them, Lord, I pray, to solve some of the difficult issues in this fair city. Help them to make wise and good use of public funds to run the city. I pray for those that are represented here this evening who may have items and issues and things to bring up, that you will cause them to be able to speak in such a way as to really be understood by everyone. And Lord, as our government is by the people and for the people, help our leaders to lead this evening as servants of the people. For they are leaders, but they are also servants. Give them the guidance and give them the humility that they need to work together and solve our problems and our issues. In your name we pray, Lord Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Okay, could you please lead us in the roll call, Mr. Skollick?
Councilmember Musgrove?
Here.
Councilmember Nunez?
Present.
Councilmember Sanella?
Here.
Deputy Mayor Jenkins?
Here.
And Mayor Jones?
Here. Okay, now we have proclamations and presentations, and we have the women comments here today. So if the council could please join me out in front, that would be great. Were you having a pep rally out there? I think the little Pee-wee cheerleaders were cheering you on. If you happened to hear them, they were so cute. I didn't actually want to come into the meeting just because they were so cute. Anyway, I am so excited to have the Palomar women's basketball certificate, these that I'm going to be presenting today. An impressive 31-1 season, which is pretty unbelievable. And we have Deonshane Harvey was named Most Valuable Player of the Pacific Coast Conference. Where are you? Girl, come up here. This is so exciting. She is the California Community College Southern California Player of the Year for the second year in a row. Girl, bring it in here. Anyway, she also was named All-American by the Women's Basketball Coaching Association and was one of 10 players at the college level to be recognized nationally. Wow. Girl, help me out here. Diogene.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. My apologies. I hate it when I say someone's name wrong. Rebecca, no one ever says it wrong. It's terrible. Anyway, and Savannah Smith and Faith Schwanter earned all-state academic honors by completing one full season of intercollegiate sports and having a 3.5 GPA or higher. Ladies, are you here? Savannah and Faith? Come on up. Faith has earned this award for 2 years in a row. Awesome. And Camille Srof, yeah? Broke the record for most three-point shots made in one game, 10. Woo! And broke the record for most made three-point shots in a season. How many was that? In a season? How many was that? Do you know? Oh, she can't count that high because it was too many. Okay. That's all right. The team is full of all-conference players and has strong leadership from their 9 sophomores who had a 2-year record of 58-4, including a 28-0 conference. Wow, ladies. The San Marcos City Council does hereby present the Palomar women's basketball team with an honorable certificate of recognition for an impressive record-breaking 3-1 season. The coaches and team have brought considerable recognition to themselves, their school, and their community for their dedication, camaraderie, and sportsmanship, which we happen to love very much here in the city. And so we, the City Council of the City of San Marcos, proudly congratulate all of you on your successful season. So we're going to start out with Lee Marshall, the head coach. On there. So don't worry, I won't forget about you, ladies. I just wanted you to come up here because, woo, amazing.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, followed by Chris Croce, the assistant coach. Not here? Okay. Damian Cephas, the assistant coach. Not here? Well, where are these people? I don't know. This is an exciting day. Kaylee Rowan, strength and conditioning coach. What?
I'm the only coach holding it down for us.
Girl, I'm glad you're here. Okay. Eva Cereza.
She's the only player not here.
Come on. There's so many of you. How is it possible? Okay. Evelyn. Evelyn! Taraza, guard. Congratulations. You're welcome. By the way, I forgot to high five all of you. Okay. I used to kind of tease the previous mayor, and I'd say, "Why do you say everyone's names wrong?" I get it now. It's when you have all the pressure on you. Camille Schroff. Yes, there you are. Gabby Sabit. Gabby. Congratulations. You're very welcome. Dejanay Harvey. Lacey Silva. Oh, and I forgot to actually say all of the things that all of your, let's see, Lacey, you are a guard. Sorry. You're welcome. Okay, Faith Schwanter, guard. Mackenzie Kazina, guard and forward. Do you know this is one of the best things about this job, when we can just amp you guys up and thank you for your service? I appreciate it, thank you. You're welcome. Okay, Katrina Sakata and am I Shaka? Okay, guard. Yeah, they put the enunciation. No one ever fouls up my name, it's Jones, so there you go, girl, sorry. Okay. Rakea Sissa. And she is also a guard. Congratulations. You're very welcome. Savannah Smith. Forward. Tiana Alleman. Guard. Congratulations. Okay, I'm feeling very short here. Alea Benavides, guard. Congratulations. Okay, Rory Hetrick. And Rory is also a guard. Oh, no. Oh, no. Are you? Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm okay.
No
Thank you.
surgery or anything?
No, I'm good.
Okay, that's good. Okay. Kayla Williams, forward. Congratulations. You're very welcome. Mason Rally, forward. Congratulations. You're very welcome. Okay, and then Angeline Valdiva, guard. All right, is it called a hype? Are we your hype girls, your hype team? What do we call that when we're here to boost you up? Yeah, your hype team? Okay, we're your hype people. So this is super exciting, but Coach, do you want to come up and say a few things about these ladies? Come on down. I'm sure you have a lot of fun stories, but maybe tell us about one of the most memorable games and one of the things that happened during that, if you don't mind.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
That's a good question. This is obviously a memorable team. We had 9 sophomores, so they kind of know how our system runs. We're all about working hard. We have a blue-collar mindset. We want to outwork our opponents. I think one of my favorite games, there's been a lot this year, was when Camille broke probably the record. She started off 6 for 6 from the three-point line. At halftime, she was 8 for 10, and we knew that the record was 10. And the rest of the second half, her teammates just kept trying to find her to make sure she broke the record. So it kind of just sums up what this team is about. They're not selfish. They're all about working together. We have a saying, sometimes you, sometimes me, always us, and they live by that. So it's been a joy with this team, and we can't wait to get back after it next year.
Now we're going to try to figure out how to take a picture. So we're going to scooch over this way so we can have that in the background, if you don't mind. And Phil, you can tell us
Yeah, shift over here, just get a couple lines. Obviously, tall people in the back, taller people in the back. Less tall people in the front.
I'm in the back.
Let's shift over a little bit more. Scooching, scooching, scooching. Don't climb. There you go. Can't see the camera. All right. Or that.
Okay, well, we'll see you back here. All right. Bye. Very, very exciting. Okay, now we're going to move on to business. The fun part, just kidding. Okay, consent calendar. Do I have any items that any council members wish to pull? I think I have just speakers on the regular. Yep, okay.
Move to approve tonight's consent calendar.
Okay,
I'll second.
okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any noes? Okay, motion passes. We are moving on to oral communications. Our first speaker will be Robert Frederick, followed by Leanne Poorman, and then John Mosier will be the third speaker. Hi, how are you this evening? Yes, sorry about that. It's very flexible. There you go.
Thank you, thank you. My name's Bob Federico. I live at Schoolhouse Way, and I'd like to bring the council's attention to a dangerous child pedestrian situation that exists at the corner of Santa Leo Road and Schoolhouse Way, where the elementary school, playground, and all that is, okay? Dozens of young children cross that intersection at one time when school lets out. It's a real crowd, and there's one crossing guard with them. I think the steep downhill grade coming from the east, I guess it would be from the east, the truck traffic is tremendous there, and most of them are through, it's mostly through traffic. They're not delivering anything to Santa Leo Hills, they're just cutting through. Large trucks with air brakes, I've seen them make quick stops at that red light when kids are crossing. I've seen some close calls there. I come through there several times a day. Again, due to the steep downhill, and there's speed signs that go from 45 to 35 to 25, and the 25 says when children are present. Well, it's a school, it's a playground, it's a baseball diamond, it's a lacrosse field. Children are always present there. And by the time you see that 25 sign, it's for these trucks that are just passing through, it's too late. There's a speed blinking sign beyond that could maybe be moved uphill a little bit, and maybe the speed signs could be graduated uphill a little bit so that they start hitting the 25 mile per hour a little sooner. If a truck, I drove truck a little bit in my history with air brakes. If it loses its air brakes, it's going right through that intersection. And I would ask that if nobody's ever been at that intersection, to sit there when school lets out and see what I'm talking about. It's a pretty dangerous situation. What could be done about it? We could post Santa Leo Road all the way from Twin Oaks to Rancho Santa Fe that no through traffic, anything over, pick a number, 5 tons with air brakes can come through there unless you're making local delivery only. The lighting speed, the thing that blinks your speed coming downhill, it goes how high and then it just says slow down. That could be moved up, I'm sorry, that can be moved up a little bit, uphill, so get everybody aware of it a little sooner. And the sheriff's department has really been good about putting radar, but they put it downhill. And maybe if they went uphill a little bit, the word would get out that you can't cruise through that intersection at 60 miles an hour. And I have witnessed that, especially in the morning. And if it happens when kids are crossing that street, it could be a tragedy. They're going to build a daycare center, I believe, in the center of that situation, of that intersection. I was wondering if they might rethink that and maybe take the empty Chase Bank that's by Albertsons Plaza. I don't know, that's just a far out thought of mine. It'd just be a lot safer. They'd have room for a playground. And I just think that it's a possible tragic situation there. And I invite you to go witness it sometime when school's letting out and see what I'm talking about here. I don't even have children in the district. I've got grandchildren far away, but I've seen it happen. I go through there a lot, and just want you to consider that. Thank you.
Thank you. The one thing that I would suggest is that we do have a traffic safety commission.
Yes.
And I just looked up their next meeting, and that would be on May 3rd at 6 p.m. And if you're not available that day, the next one would be June 7th at 6 p.m.
May
right here.
3rd at
May
6?
3rd at 6 p.m. and then June 7th at 6 p.m. right here where you are today. So they meet once a month, and you could bring this up to them. That's the proper channel. But also, if you go to our Report a Concern, which is our city app, and then we also have that on our website. If you go to San Marcos Report a Concern, you can also lodge it in there, and then they will, the system will actually get back to you and tell you where it is in the process. But if you do those two things, that is probably the quickest way to, we know about it now, so we can bring it up, but if you follow through those two things.
You will bring it up to that traffic commission, or no?
Well, no, we don't do that. That's why I was saying you would be able to do that if you wanted to. But we
Where do they
definitely-
meet, here?
They do, right here, yep. In
Okay, thank you.
this very room. Thank you. Okay, our next speaker is Leanne Porman, followed by John Mosher.
Honorable Rebecca Jones, our mayor, our council, and our attorney is here too. I'm very disappointed in our rejection of our residents' petition. 29 was rejected out of all the houses. All that were signed by the residents, 7 of them, and most of them that are here, only had resident signatures. No renters of rooms were signed. Our manager should not even be included in that because he doesn't live there. Since the petition, Haven did not put their request for rent increase until April 3rd. If I would have got a ticket and did not appear for court, I would have a summons for my arrest. So what I'm asking is that 90 days from that time is when our rent increase should be, not this April 1st as it was. And I'm asking for our new home person to take care of that, and our city managers. I asked Helen to give me a call. I did not hear from her. I did talk to Valerie tonight, and I told her how disappointed I was. I really think that 1% to 2% or 3% as of last year could only be the rent increase, not 6.15 as it was this year. In the last 2 years, one of our residents, her rent has gone up $54.72. I think this is deplorable, and I think that we need to work on this, Helen, if we can do a new modification to our rent. I would only ask for your help. Thank you.
Thank you, Leanne. I believe that we have your information, and being that this is not an agendized item, we can't go into full discussion, but we do have an ordinance that we must follow that was voted in by the residents of San Marcos. So we do have to follow that. So anyway, we will have someone get back to you. I believe we have all of your information, correct? Okay. All right, John Mosher.
Hello, everybody. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Maria, Ed, Mike, Michelle instead of Jack, right? And then Helen and Phil. It's good to see you guys. I'm coming here tonight basically because I sent you something. I've been working on an energy problem that affects us all. And I saw an example back in Vermont of Green Mountain Power that has subsidized putting in energy storage at each home. And they've made it affordable. They've made it like a 10-year term or the pay up front. Some of it is like $55 a month, or you could pay $5,500, and that was one of the Tesla power cells. That's why I put it out there, and also contacted Ed and Barbara Boswell of CEA to see what could happen to help us all out here. I've looked at some of what SDG&E is doing, and I don't see a real supplement to it or a good plan for it yet that matches what I've seen back there. So my goal is to put it out there, keep researching it, and make it so that we have an affordable option for all of our residents. You know, I'm mobile home oriented, so I'm looking at it, what can we do in mobile homes, and then what could we do for supplemental solar storage? And that's as simple as having just enough so that when your power goes out for a day or so, that will keep that battery system running when it's off the grid. The reason I'm here tonight is as I'm going through this, I'd like to know who at the city could I work with as I'm figuring this stuff out, especially the panels for the supplemental for the mobile homes, where I've been working with a company up in Northern California that actually creates the frames for solar carports. And I found a way to work with them. But the next thing is to find out what works here for the codes, et cetera, and what will work for us. That's where I'm at on it. I have a phone appointment with Barbara in about a week to discuss this with her, and I'd like to see who are the city I could discuss this with before I get to that point. So,
Okay, Michelle can connect someone with you. And we do have your phone number, I'm assuming, yes? Okay.
yeah.
All right,
And plus,
perfect.
I'll keep you guys informed as I go through it. I figured that all the constituents for every single one of you are going to be reaching out to you at some time about what to do about the energy prices, et cetera. And I think this is an option that might work for us that we haven't seen before. Okay?
Awesome, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And it also helps us with our climate action plan too, so thank you. Okay, moving on to reports. Sandag, we have not had a meeting. We have a meeting this coming Friday. And we'll be talking about the 2025 update of the 2021 plan, including the road usage charge and then also the managed lanes and all of the different elements of that regional transportation plan. And I, of course, want a balanced plan. So we will be discussing that and figuring out what that framework will be. It's a workshop style. If anyone wants to come, it's at the Wells Fargo building downtown. You can also join via Zoom or via telephone. So it's pretty easy. If you go to the sandag.org website and go to the board of directors and then click on the link for Friday's meeting, which is the 25th. Is that right? The 25th?
28th.
28th. Oh my gosh, it is. Yeah. Today's the 25th. The 28th, then you can click on that, and then it can take you to the Zoom link, and then also give you the phone number link if you wanted to join via phone. League of California Cities, council member.
We meet the 8th of May.
Okay. North County Transit District, Deputy Mayor.
We met last week and for our regular monthly board meeting, and we had a couple items worth mentioning. We had an update concerning state legislative efforts that are impacting transit. AB 181 was signed into law by Governor Newsom last year, I believe, and it requires school district to develop transportation plans with input from transit agencies. So North County Transit has talked to and met with several school districts to see if they want any assistance with that. So that's in the process. And then another item I want to mention is we received an update from the California Transit Association, and there is a fiscal cliff, they're calling it, in the future for some transit agencies statewide. Fortunately, North County Transit is not in the same position as others. We have a balanced budget every year, and we have a 5-year projection that's balanced. But because of this fiscal cliff that's coming, and the fact that the state is also starting to face some budget issues, there is a possibility of, and let me get this right, there's some legislative efforts out there to mitigate some of those shortfalls, which includes allowing transit agencies to utilize capital funding for operations. That is way beyond what we would ever think of here.
Right.
But it's something that other agencies will be considering, and so that was mainly the two big items from the legislative update. And then the other thing, which will be of interest here to my fellow people up here, is we approved the microtransit software services agreement. And that has to do with creating a system for on-demand microtransit, software systems, which we are working on here in San Marcos. So even though we approved it, there's a process still to go through. There's a lot of implementation that has to happen, and then we also have to continue to deal with our operator shortage that we have. So, but it's in the works. And then the last thing I want to say is we're starting to have discussions about zero-emission programs for rail, not buses, but rail. And so the interesting thing is there is no technology for that yet, but everybody's starting to talk about it. And so there could be some pilot programs coming down the road and for the Sprinter and the Coaster. But you have to also remember it's not just the equipment, it's also the infrastructure that has to go along with that. So it's a big, costly process, but we're starting the discussions about what that would look like.
Well, so just a quick question on that. Has anyone indicated if it's cheaper to actually lay new track with this technology, or is it something where
It would be the same track, it's
and then
the
you're-
equipment that changes.
Yes, you're converting it essentially, I guess. Oh, very
Because I
interesting.
asked about that.
Yeah,
Is it
I
the
thought you
same
would.
track?
I thought you
Or
would,
is
yeah.
it, are we gonna have to put in new track?
Right, interesting,
yeah.
okay.
I have a question. Is there a time estimate for when the software would be rolled out or the transition?
Not at this
Not-
point.
okay.
It could be a couple of years by the time it goes through its implementation process.
Okay, North County Dispatch Joint Powers Authority,
Our next meeting is next month.
next month. Okay, Clean Energy Alliance, Councilmember Musgrove.
No April meeting. We have a statewide conference in San Diego in May.
Okay, City Council business visits. Councilmember Musgrove and I went to PROCOAT, which,
That
was there
me.
another one?
Deputy Mayor.
I'm sorry?
I
That's
went with
right.
you.
Why did I say Musgrove? You know what?
okay.
It's because he always gives so many different
Reports.
reports. I just feel like I have to give that to you. No, it was us, of course.
Yeah, it
I
was
know.
us. It was the girls'
There
day.
we are in our little
Coats.
our little coats. Yeah, our little lab coats. So the interesting thing was when we showed up, we were thinking, what is PROCOAT? I thought it was going to be some sort of concrete coating. Not even close. Do you want to start off with this?
Sure. I thought it was gonna be some sort of powder coating on little pieces of screws and things like that. But it was established in April of 2000 in Oceanside in a person's garage. And the owner of the company graduated from UCLA, I believe, and this is all about chemicals. And
But what do they coat?
I'm gonna get to
okay,
that.
Okay.
I have my notes here. I got to go in order. It's basically coating services for printed circuit boards and assemblies in aerospace, electronic, and medical companies. And some of their clients, they have some very big name clients, but a few of them that we can mention are NASA, Boeing, Raytheon, Blue Origins, and Viasat, who all use this company. There's only 3 of these companies in California that do this type of coating, and they moved to San Marcos off of South Santa Fe in 2009. They have about a 10,000 square foot building and 50 employees, and you would never imagine anything like this was in San Marcos. It was amazing. Do you want to finish?
Sure. And so the president and owner of the company, Salim Khalafan, they have the largest clean room in the state of California, and many companies come to them for advice on how to properly coat their circuit boards, which it was crazy because when you go in there, you can't smell anything. And I said, well, what about the VOCs? Because that's like something that normally you would smell something. And they said, well, we have a system that you can't even smell anything. And like they actually opened it and let us kind of get a whiff. There was no whiff, actually. There, you couldn't smell anything. But anyway, they do all of their training in-house, and the qualifications for the employees are very simple. You have to be a U.S. citizen, have a high school diploma, and the ability to paint. That's pretty much it. And they have a high employee retention because it is very specialized. It's not like you're going to have all these different companies trying to recruit your folks. And they coat thousands and thousands of boards every year for 12 core companies, but have about 120 customers. And the amount of circuit boards that they go through every day that they actually are coating are unbelievable. And then they go through this one process, and then they go into another process where they have people that are literally, they have these little tiny paintbrushes, and they're under a blue light, and they can see where, if like a coating, sometimes it doesn't adhere to spots. They go in and they hand do all of it. It's pretty labor intensive. And so some of the employees were in like a completely dark room. I honestly thought it was fascinating. And Salim, it was just really amazing. Like, he was highly intelligent. So he has a aerospace rocket, scientist certification. Like, he is super smart, but he was like, I saw a need. I'd been working for another company, and I just decided, hey, why not? And then the fact that he's here in San Marcos is very cool, but a very good company that you have no idea they're there. They're right there off of South Santa Fe in San Marcos, over by Bostic. A really cool company. So,
And I'll
anything else?
add one more thing. We asked him what the reason was to move to San Marcos, and he said because we're business friendly.
Yeah, he did. He did say that. That was cool. Okay. Any other business visits? Okay. Guess what we're at to next? Our assistant city manager is filling in for our city manager today, Michelle Bender, and she gets to do her first. I think it's your first Creek project update.
Yes,
And
one of the first.
you promised we were going to have some pictures.
We have some pictures.
All right. Let's see.
A lot has been going on in the Creek District now that the rain is cooperating and has stopped. We've finally poured the second part of the Via Veracruz deck, so that is a very significant milestone. The picture that we had up a second ago, that is, we recently had a water main shutdown on San Marcos Boulevard overnight, and this is a picture of one of the workers installing the connection from Via Veracruz to San Marcos Boulevard. Then we have a storm drain within Via Veracruz that has been backfilled, which will allow for the preparation of the roadway as it approaches the bridge. We also have a new pedestrian crossing at Bent Avenue that has been installed with final improvements that will include a striped ADA-compliant pedestrian crosswalk along with flashing beacons to warn cars to stop on Bent when pedestrians are crossing. And we continue to try and make up for the delays that resulted from unseasonal rain in San Diego. But the good news is we're still currently anticipating a late summer completion.
Late summer.
Later
means-
in the summer, not late summer, later in the summer.
Well, this means before school starts, which doesn't school start in August?
Correct.
Okay, we have Kaiser Hospital opening up, so in August, I can't remember the date off the top of my head, but being that that's going to happen, we want to make sure it's open before then.
Yes,
'Cause
our
that'll
team
be-
is working furiously on trying to make that happen, given the
Okay.
delays from the rain.
All right, okay, well, thank you, Michelle. Moving on to council commentary. Last week, we opened Villa Serena, which is 85 units of affordable housing right here in San Marcos. It was a rebuild from 60 units, so there was a gain. But the best part about it was they only had one 3-bedroom, and they went, and I can't remember the number off the top of my head either, but they went to a significant amount of 3 bedrooms, which is more for families, which is good because previously they only had one 3-bedroom. I do remember that number. And then also last week, we had a new park open. So those of you that haven't been there yet, you need to go check it out. It's a fairly flat 1 to 1.5 mile loop right around South Lake Park, and or right around South Lake, and it's a park, pretty easy to get around. And that is if you're on Twin Oaks Valley Road, you take Sunstone Drive, and it's right there on your right-hand side. So if you're going up the hill to San Alejo, up Twin Oaks Valley Road. It's actually south, but it is up the hill. On your right-hand side, you would take a right on Sunstone, and it's right there on your left-hand side. Very cool. It's beautiful out there, lots of critters, and there's actually that water buoy. Do you know anything about this? Because you were at Valicitos before. So they have a water buoy that that does monitor, but the water quality and all of that. Maybe you know a little bit more about
It's
that.
not so much about the water quality, it's about keeping the algae bloom down.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
But I will say, Mayor, that on Sunday, I took my mountain bike with a friend, and we rode around the loop, and there was dozens of people out there walking around, bunch of people fishing. It was great to see the families out there enjoying the new park.
Yes.
And one of the benefits of this unseasonal rain that we've had is it's probably as pretty out there right now than it might ever be, because everything's green. It looks like Ireland. The flowers are all bloomed. It's phenomenal. So I highly encourage everybody to go out there.
Definitely an Instagram moment out there. Okay. Any other council commentary? Council member, yes. Nunez.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I do want to highlight, I think last week we had a lot of important events that we had as a city, but I do want to highlight that we did have our Citizens Academy that started last week. It was exactly a week ago on Tuesday evening. So I really want to just commend the citizens, the residents that applied and hung in there. And really, I think we have a great class, so I want to commend them for participating and wanting to learn more about the city governance, what we do and how we do it. And also congratulate our city staff. I think you did a phenomenal job bringing it together. I personally learned a lot, so I'm really looking forward to, I think we're going to have a great class, and it's really just the beginning.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because there was one thing that I forgot to bring up. Any other commentary?
Quick question.
What's that?
For Mr. Skullick, are we still in the application period for our vacancies on commissions and committees? So those of you out there and watching on the internet, if you're interested in applying for a committee or commission with the city of San Marcos to get involved, the application period is open. sanmarcos.net, and then go down to your government and you'll find the application right there,
Okay.
all online.
Okay, May 24th, State of Your Community is coming, and that is an exciting thing. If you want to find out more about what's going on in the city, all of the great things that are happening with our projects, as far as our capital improvement project, it's really a wrap-up of everything that has happened in the last year, and then moving forward, kind of some things that are on the horizon. That will be 4 to 6 at the community center right here in 3 Civic Center Drive, and we hope to see you all there. It's a free event. It will also be a health fair, so it starts at 4 o'clock, and then it goes until 6 o'clock, and hopefully we'll see everyone there. There'll be some light refreshments as well. And anything else? No? Okay, then. Well, this meeting's adjourned. Hold your horses. This meeting's adjourned, and if any of you are out there and you have community service hours or need signatures, you can come on up to this, up to the front, and we'll sign it for you. Thank you.